Sarcastic, witty, and not afraid to mix it up. Pop open a cold one and welcome to Three Dad Bods.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Three Dad Bods with Brent, Carl, and Shawn. Welcome guys.
Hey guys.
Welcome back, Shawn, from the mighty trip.
You see any
Where you
tan
burned everything
effect?
down?
No, I had nothing to do with that.
You live in
I was
Phoenix.
gonna say you should be naturally tan already, Shawn.
You went to Hawaii to cool down.
Exactly. It's like going to
It's true.
Alaska when I live in Seattle or Utah.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Good
though.
trip. You doing any scuba diving?
Spent a little bit of time underwater, but really it was mostly snorkeling and stuff. So yeah, had a good time though. Had a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time at the beach. Spent a lot of time in the water. My wife got a little bit nervous because I had gone so far out off the beach that she couldn't see me, and so
What? She almost
uh,
cashed in
yeah,
on the
that's
insurance, huh? Dang it.
no.
Shawn, she actually texted us and said, "The party's on, guys. The
Yeah.
party's on."
That doesn't
And then she
surprise me.
texts back later and she said, "Damn it, he's back."
Yeah. Oh, he showed back up. Yeah, it was fun. Had a good time. Spent a lot of time. I can't remember the name of the beach. Hanalei Bay, I think is what it's called. It's on the north side. Uh,
Yeah, you went to my favorite island. Kauai is just amazing place.
yeah,
It's like
it
a
was fun.
fantasy land.
So I've
It's
been
the
to.
rainiest spot on earth.
It didn't rain at all when we were there. The reason it's the rainiest, I found out. It's
Really?
the way that the island is shaped and the mountains in it. It basically catches everything that goes by. So the actual island isn't as rainy as one area of the island. So it's pretty cool. It's very green. It's lush. It's beautiful. Lots and lots of people wearing not very many clothes. So apparently the Europeans still
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna
do
throw
what
up a
they do
little.
there.
All right. That's awesome, Shawn.
I had something scary happen this week.
What
You
happened to
see
you?
yourself naked?
Have you guys ever choked before?
Not for the
Y- y-
reasons you have.
Briefly.
So, years ago, I used to have GERD. I don't know if you know what GERD is, but it's where acid, acid will build up in your throat and basically shut off your windpipe. And I haven't had that for years. And the other night, Friday night, sleeping on my side, and it's almost I could feel it happen. And it sealed off my air pipe, and I was in full on choke mode. Like I was completely out of air, gasping, trying to cough everything out. And in my head, I'm thinking, um, you know, give it a minute, because when your body chokes, it automatically in pushes out acids to try and dissolve whatever is taken on there. And so finally, after I have no idea how long it lasted, because when you can't breathe, 1 second feels like 15 minutes, you know. I was able to get some air into my throat, but then, for the next, well, all day yesterday, my throat just burns from the acid that had been in there, and then my lungs were hurting from them being strained, from trying to push and everything like that. So that was my Friday night / Saturday morning, waking up with a scary experience. There's been times when I've just thought, this is it. I'm just gonna check out right here. This is where it all ends.
That's crazy, man. Um,
Yeah,
well, was that what you were dealing with? I remember when we did your loan years ago, and you were.
that was different.
That was different. Okay, I was wondering. Okay.
That was functional dysphagia, where your body just goes into a reset mode and you don't swallow.
Oh,
I could
jeez.
not. Yeah,
So that might be
it
the
would have
way
been
you're gonna go, Brent. Is not being able to breathe. That's gonna suck.
that'd be it. Just die in my sleep from GERD.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, that's
What's
rough.
going to say on my tomb? Survived everything but GERD.
Well, good news for me on the job front. I got an offer.
Hey,
Yeah, so it was a good one. So I mean,
is this the Baskin Robbins general manager? Is that what that is?
yeah, I try to avoid that one, but no, it's a new company that does dental implants nationwide.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a sales position, and so start with a good base, and looks like decent commission. I mean, it's hard to tell when you look at Glassdoor. You see oh, this is the best place ever, and then this place sucks so bad I can't stand it. So it was like
You see the two
those were the
extremes.
reviews, and then yeah, and then you get the one that looks like reasonable, like a 4 or 3, and you read it, and you're like, okay, I can deal with that. So I went in, and yeah, it was pretty much what I did before at Vivint, except the cool thing is they have some, remote opportunities maybe in a few years, like in Nashville, Jacksonville, some of these areas that they've got dental clinics at. So I figured, you know what? That's good. It's good timing too for what I'm planning. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. So that starts in September, and so the next 2 weeks
Is
I
it
get more
is
vacation
it
time and more
sales
prepared.
or
Sales,
sales management
yeah,
or
sales.
good.
So it's
So do you handle like Utah or what do you?
I guess there's like 15 different states, so I'm gonna be calling
Oh,
through.
you got 15 states.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, it's a normal grind job, So, but that's okay. I'm used to it. I mean, no one's paying anything right now for not working. I think employers are getting smart. It's the whole I'm gonna work from home and have kind of a mini vacation and only work a few hours a week. Those days are gone. Too much money's being lost in this economy, and I think I think you're going to find too that some of these easy jobs that everybody's had in the last year or two are going to be drying up, and you're going to have to either deal with you're going to have to just dig down and work hard, and so that's okay.
Yeah.
We're old school. We know how to do that. So
Well, congratulations, man.
yeah.
I know you've been hunting it down, so good.
It was getting
Glad these
mildly
guys checked off the
stressful after a
boxes.
month and a half, but I don't feel too bad. I mean, I actually kind of had. I'm still having fun. I'm gonna still, I'm gonna. Well, in the future, always keep my eyes open instead of just kind of being tunnel vision.
So are you selling to dentist offices and groups,
No,
practices?
no. So this would be like you would go on a website looking for dental implants, and then you would go to their website. You fill out a short, very short survey. And basically, most dental implants aren't covered by insurance, I guess, from what I understand. And so, um,
Yeah, they are.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the guy.
I had some done.
Yeah, but it's like 50% coverage, I think. It's a little less. I mean, I had Delta Dental at Vivint, and they were only
That's the most
fifty
popular one.
percent. They were only 50% on the dental implants. So, um,
Yeah.
I think certain parts of the procedure they cover, but the actual, I don't know, the actual fake thing that they put in your mouth, I don't think that's all covered. So,
So you order these and then you just do it at home? Or
no, no,
how?
you go into their clinic. So they have they hire in their network certain dentists, and then yeah, they go ahead and yeah, absurd if they did that. Put your own in. Pull them out too.
Like instructions,
Here's a
Are we still
screw it
talking
into your
about
head.
dentistry?
tools needed, pliers.
Yeah, here's a power drill. Oh my gosh. Oh, that reminds me, man. So okay, for this week we're gonna slide into. This is a good way to slide into our subject. Uh,
Nice.
yes, I was perusing the internet like I normally do, and I came across.
Makes you sound like a porn looker
It does,
when
doesn't
you
it?
say that.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like that.
Browsing.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
browsing
how many of you guys, Shawn? You might have heard of this guy. You're in the tech industry. Brian Johnson. He started Venmo, and then he sold out to PayPal about 10 years ago. You ever heard of that name?
Oh yeah.
Anyone? Okay. So the guy, about a few years ago, goes through this divorce. I guess it was a pretty nasty one. Puts on about 60 pounds. This guy is one guy I could understand. Gets a little depressed, almost to the point of suicide. So I guess it's a lot depressed. Decides to get busy losing weight. I guess he has one of those moments where he decides he needs to lose a bunch of weight. Well, this guy's gone a little nuts. Okay, so there was a headline, and this has been all over some of the news stations. The Daily Mail, for example, and I guess Fortune magazine as well. But billionaire biohacking tech guru, 45 years old, injects his teen son's blood in a bizarre quest to stay young. Reveals he's removed the treatment from his 100K a month anti-aging protocol because it didn't work. Yes, this bizarre guy is injecting his, well, basically he was taking a liter of plasma from his son each week and injecting that into his body, and then also sending it to his 70-year-old father, Richard, um, who's a sales guy, and they were injecting their 17-year-old son and grandson's blood into their system. Um, isn't that
So taking a
bizarre?
liter of blood out? A
Of
liter of
Well,
blood.
it's plasma, so it's a little different than blood, but still,
But it's a liter. A liter is a lot.
it's freaking weird. Okay,
Even
this
if you
guy is
donate
weird.
plasma, they only take, I think they only, I don't know, I don't think they let you take that much every week. I mean, it's basically water. It replenishes
That's
itself
a
really
lot.
fast, but wow, that's crazy.
All right, I gotta show you guys gotta get to show you guys the picture of this dude. He is very bizarre. So there he is with the blood. You see him with the he and his son. Nice selfie shots, and then the three of them
Oh my God, that's a
hugging it
terrible
out.
picture.
So
That is
Uh,
the creepiest picture I've ever
is,
seen.
is
isn't
that
that
is that
isn't
Joe
that
Biden?
creepy, man? What's that?
Is that Joe Biden
Oh,
in the back?
Can you?
no,
It
that's
looks
his
like it,
dad.
huh?
That's his 70-year-old dad giving him a nice little hug. So
I can't imagine my dad saying, "Hey, let's take a picture like this, Brent."
well, and then they both have the muscle beater shirts on or t-shirts on too.
Look how pasty he looks.
So anyway, um,
Incredibly pasty.
yeah, they look nice, but okay.
That's
So get this
terrible.
guy's regimen. He spends $2 million a year to biologically. He wants to return to age 18. He takes 80 vitamins a day. 80,
Mm.
80. 70 pounds of pureed vegetables a month. It's like baby food vegetables. Works out an hour a day with 25 different exercises. Brent would, he's okay with that. He's down with that one. Takes exactly 1,977 calories per day. No more, no less.
So he's
Uh,
eating the same meals.
Now get this. This is the one that kind of bothers me. He has 33,000 images of the inside of his bowels. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they images like him and his dad and his son?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care to understand. I don't want to know. He has 30
Bowel
doctors.
selfie.
Yeah, he has 30 doctors who routinely measure his blood, hearing, liver, kidneys, blood vessels, and sexual health. He wants to make sure he can keep it up for the ladies, I guess. And then, so this
How old
is,
is he?
well, he's 45, so this is the results. For all the work he's done, he has a 37-year-old heart, according to himself. The skin of a 28-year-old man. We saw his picture, so he doesn't go out in the sun at all.
Looks
Uh,
very pasty.
and the very, and the fitness level of an 18-year-old. So I mean, okay. I don't
Bet he's
think
dead by
I don't
60.
think the guy's got all his marbles in the right place after his depression and his past thoughts. But my goodness, man, I mean, you can go to an extreme. This is the extreme. So is he? So he's at. I guess I'm going to throw this question out. Have you ever had an anxiety level about a certain future event that would create the necessity to get this extreme in anything?
I've never had a suicidal thought.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I don't think that way.
I don't know. I have a hard time relating to that as well. Because I'm the same. I've had other people close to me who have, but never.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe I
Several people.
maybe I'm
Some people
pushing
in
them
my
that.
family.
Maybe I'm pushing them there, but no, I've never experienced it like you, Brent. Um,
I I will say that when you're losing weight and when you begin to lose weight, I've had situations where I'm just obsessed with the scale
yeah,
and
yeah, absolutely.
to a point where like I'm looking at it and I'm furious, I'm upset, and finally just kind of got to a point because I listen to people who are experienced in, fitness and stuff like that, and they're like, fuck the scale, don't worry about the scale. Worry about your clothes, how you feel, how you fit, and stuff like that. Because you could be 220 pounds and still be out of shape. You could be 220 pounds and be in phenomenal shape.
Hmm.
So weight is just a number. It's how the rest of your body is doing and feeling and stuff like that.
Well, the upshot of this, experts who have reviewed his case studies and all his evidence he reports to suggest he's younger, have said basically BS.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I they do not recommend this regimen for the average person. So like, wow.
I mean, 1970 calories, that's not a bad thing. 2000 calories is a good pinpoint to be with your nutrition per day.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think you need to
I
puree
would
your
say
vegetables though to have
no,
nutritional
you don't
value
need to
from
do
them.
that. And I don't think that changes anything with your vegetables and your food. I don't think that changes stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think the better thing is to stay away from processed ingredients.
Right.
You know, if you can stay away from that, I definitely agree that you're going to prolong your health, you're going to avoid cancer, and you're probably going to live longer by getting rid of all those preservatives. It's a terrible thing.
Well, the 33,000 images of the inside of his bowels, the only thing I can think of is maybe he's had some, what do they call it? Um,
Diverticulosis.
yeah, or something. Yeah, cancer, uh, bowel cancer, because that's
What is he looking at in there though?
that's obsessive.
He's got a really
I mean,
stretchy
Yeah.
I mean,
colon.
literally, his whole root
He's got a really
stretchy
stretchy
colon.
colon. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd almost think he's a drug smuggler, I mean, the only one that would be that insane to take that many images of your bowels. That's crazy, man.
Is that what he finds erotic? He's like, man, look at that colon. Oh my God, look at
Boy,
those
it's
bowels.
got some room. I can put a lot of
It's
kilos in
got
that.
some shine inside there.
Oh, no polyps. Anyway, so that was the obscene of the week news story. I thought that would be entertaining this morning.
That's a good one, man. That was a good one.
Gross.
Um, so sports stories. So I'm not a big soccer fan. I will say that I think it's very well known that I've always thought that soccer is for the kids who can't catch, throw, or shoot. However, Lionel Messi was in town yesterday, and Lionel Messi is regarded as probably the greatest soccer player that's ever played. If you don't know anything about him, like myself, Argentina national team, played for Barcelona
He's good.
for a number of years, over 20 years. Yes, he's very good. Now he's playing for Inter Miami in the MLS here.
Every
And
every hot woman in South America loves the guy. So yeah.
Yeah. So they were in town yesterday. So one thing about soccer is as you play your season in your league, there's also all these little tournaments that you enter into inside the league. It's crazy. And one of these was the inter championship, or I don't know what it was. It's actually for a good thing where it's a lot of the proceeds go towards fighting hunger. Every ticket that's sold, two meals are donated to the food banks. And so it's a very good cause, and it's teams that are from all over the world. It's from Canada, from Mexico, from the United States, from Europe. Um, and so the two finals were Nashville and Miami. And so Messi came to Nashville. And if the MLS is not giving him a percentage of the gate proceeds, they really should, because the average ticket for a regular MLS game here in Nashville is $35. It's a beautiful stadium, fantastic place, Geodis Park. The starting price for a ticket for last night's game was
Oh
$5,000.
my.
They were going as high as $10,000 for this.
Oh my. Wow.
And I watched the game from home. I did, I admit it, because even though I'm not a soccer fan, I recognize greatness and I love competition and I the guy can play.
Oh yeah.
He's phenomenal.
He's like the
I'm not gonna
Michael
lie.
Jordan of soccer, man. The guy's
Maybe
amazing.
better than maybe better and more popular than Michael Jordan, believe it or not.
Yeah.
On a worldwide scale,
Yeah. He's just.
I don't think there's any competition.
I think in the World Cup, I mean, he was a big. I mean,
It was incredible.
yeah.
I watched that final game, which was one of the most competitive matches in any sport I've ever watched. It's phenomenal. Just the skill. So he scored the first goal, and he makes it look like there's no effort at all. It's just he comes around, he kicks it, it goes in between two people, the ball right in between two people, and into the corner top pocket of the net. A perfect shot that he just made it look so effortlessly. And so, again, not a big soccer fan. I couldn't tell you
Well,
his list of accomplishments or anything like that, but
I got.
just an
I was gonna
amazing
say, have
feat.
you ever been to a game before this?
I went to a couple international matches years ago with my son when they were at Titan Stadium, but it's been one of our things that we've wanted to go to a game because, first of all, the stadium is magnificent,
Hmm.
um, and second, I'm hoping. To me, soccer's just boring to watch.
Well, I was gonna say the experience is what's cool. So I went to Rio Tinto, the Salt Lake, the Salt Lake
Mhm.
Real, which I still wonder why they use that, but because we are definitely not Real, but the Spanish version of Real, but the
But I thought that that was part of the management, and that's
yeah,
why.
it was, but the experience is really cool though. We got free tickets, so but they were kind of a cool ticket where you could also eat at the little cafe they have, kind of like a bar slash VIP uh, dinner area, and then they give you like my one of my sons ate like 18 ice cream bars. He went nuts. I'm a little excessive, but we had a little talk later about it. But pretty much they feed you whatever you want, and then you sit in the. We were sitting in the corner, and then right below us were the real nuts, the real crazies, and they had drums. I mean, they were yelling and chanting the entire match. Now the match,
Yeah.
I almost fell asleep. I mean, it was a 0-0 tie, and I was just like, oh. But the experience, on the other hand, I mean, this is the middle of August a few years ago, and so as Shawn said in Kauai, some of our ladies here in Salt Lake weren't wearing as much. You know, it was a lot of eye candy, a lot of people there that just were having a ball. And so, I mean, if you get a chance where it's not $3,500 or $5,000 to go to watch
Yeah.
and play, I would recommend that you and Tracy at least go one time. Do they have MLS in Phoenix, Shawn?
No. Uh-uh.
They don't. Okay. I was just curious. Maybe it's too damn
I'm
hot.
surprised they don't with all the Hispanic people. You
There's
would think it would be
there's
big.
a minor league soccer team here, but there isn't an MLS team. So it's like
It'd be
they've
too
got a
damn
AAA
hot
team.
though, unless they.
Yeah, but they could play indoors.
Well, you don't play soccer indoors unless you're playing
Why
war.
not? Some of them do.
You don't play
It's like
football
saying you don't play
indoors either,
football indoors or baseball indoors.
right? You do here.
Yeah. The only thing about
But it also brought out like Giannis was here
was he
to
really?
see it. Oh yeah. Oh, who was like a ton of celebrities came out to see it. David Beckham was here, and like people came out to see Messi, and he lived up to it. The game ended in a 1-1 tie. It went into a shootout, which shootouts are awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They're freaking phenomenal. And it was tied after the first group of shoot kicks or whatever. So it went all the way down to where it was the goalie against goalie,
Really?
and their goalie made a goal because our goal is stupid, and our goalie missed,
Oh no.
and that's how it ended right there.
Wow.
Ended
Uh,
on penalty kicks.
well, it sounds like a decent game. I mean,
It was pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty cool, especially the penalty kicks.
now is he just there for an exhibition or is he's
No,
playing?
he's part of Miami. Yeah, so David Beckham owns the Miami team, and Messi is no longer with Barcelona and signed with Miami and has been with them for like the last 5 or 6 games. And look, this guy is going to bring that type of excitement and energy and revenue
Hmm.
to every place that he plays. He's Messi, e- ev- just a worldwide legend, and
Oh,
you know,
I imagine I'll be
pretty
curious
cool.
when he comes to Salt Lake if what the ticket prices will be. I'm sure they'll be all outrageous. So uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
go through the roof.
that's cool, man. Nashville's kind of becoming like the hot place lately, like the LA of the South, huh? Or kind of.
We are building a dome stadium. It'll be up in 2025. They built it as a dome because they want to have Super Bowls, Final Fours, national championships here, which they'll get because this city parties like no other city. Um,
That's a good
when
one
they
though.
had when they had the NFL draft, this was right before COVID. There were over 100,000 people that were here for the NFL draft, just lined up down Broadway. When they had the NHL All Star game, and it was wonderful weather here in February. It was great. They had bands outside, big name stars playing on stages. There were at least 100, 150,000 people every day downtown and stuff. So, and then during the Stanley Cup, I don't know if you all ever saw images when Nashville was in the Stanley Cup, but it was just phenomenal. It's insane. This
Hmm.
town knows how to host events. It really does.
Hmm. Cool. Well, just you guys just need a football team. The Titans suck.
They don't suck.
Oh, they're not.
Won their division the last 4 years.
All right. Well, we'll see.
I mean, they're no 49ers with,
That's definitely true.
5 championships.
All right. I just want to give you guys. I just like to give Nashville shit. So their Titan team.
I'm still a diehard Niners fan,
They
so
used to be the Oilers, didn't they?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and this year they're actually got every team has their throwback uniforms, and they're wearing the old throwback
Speaking of,
baby blues.
guess what? We're close, man. Next week, first football game, college football game of the year, and then
Yes, very close.
in 2 weeks, local football, college football starts. So
Hey, what was this mess about James Harden possibly to the Jazz?
I didn't see that. Okay, so you saw James Harden possibly the Jazz?
Yeah, from some of them draft picks
Uh,
because he doesn't want to play in Philadelphia at all. I
ah,
can't think of a worse move.
no, that would be terrible. I that guy's a cancer. So
I mean, look at how well Westbrook did here. Oh wait, he didn't play.
yeah, he didn't play at all. He was a sign and trade. So anyway, I don't know. Basketball's too early. I haven't even paid attention this offseason. So I don't know. Danny didn't. I don't know what Danny's doing. So we'll see what Danny does going into the season. So
If it was anybody else but Danny Ainge, I'd be furious and throw away all my Jazz gear. But
all I can say is everything this
he
summer
has
has
this thing.
been about the conference changes. So the old
The what?
conference changes, the Big 12, Pac 12.
Oh, for football.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the good news, we hadn't talked about it yet since our football conversation a few weeks ago, but BYU and Utah will be playing the annual rivalry game in November. So
Good.
strap
Way it
on.
should be.
We're going to have some fun. So
Did I see that Gonzaga is joining the Big 12 too in basketball?
no, that's
No,
not going to
Rumor.
happen. Yeah.
that's not.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty powerful.
That would be almost too strong.
Gonzaga and Kansas in the same conference.
Freaking Utah and BYU are going to get killed in basketball every
Oh,
year for the next few
absolutely
years.
are.
Oh,
Absolutely are.
annihilated.
But
Just bam.
can you imagine a Baylor, Kansas,
Oh,
Texas Tech, and Gonzaga
oh,
all in the same basketball conference?
oh, yeah. Just say we're going to make the final 8 of the Big 12. Yay! That'd be like the big.
I
That,
mean, that would rival the ACC. I think it's regarded that the ACC is the best basketball conference, don't you think?
uh, yeah, I guess no. The Big 12
Duke,
lately,
Carolina,
before any of the changes in the Big 12, it's been known as. Well, you're right, Brent. Traditionally, ACC is known that way,
Syracuse.
but the Big 12
It's
lately has been because of some.
Texas Tech and Baylor jumping ahead of kind of other
Yeah,
programs from the past.
yeah, exactly. Even Texas is pretty decent in basketball. Oof, I hate admitting that, but yeah, I hate Texas. So anyway,
Hey, good news is you only have to play them once, so
exactly. So we do have a new segment that we're going to be releasing each week with Shawn. Shawn, you ready to roll on that?
Yeah, sure. So, it's been an interesting week in history. There's been a lot of things that have happened this week. So, uh, one of the things is that, so I'm a pretty emphatic that Woodrow Wilson was one of the worst, if not the worst, president in history. He this week pushed
Worse than Biden?
yeah, yeah,
worse than Andrew Jackson.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
I mean, Andrew Jackson did displace a whole group of
Andrew
Americans.
Jackson was
It's
a
true.
really bad guy. He was. Um, no, so he so Woodrow Wilson did a lot of things. He introduced the Federal Reserve. He this week is the week that he pushed the uh, Congress to accept the Treaty of Versailles. So if you know, the Treaty of Versailles is a treaty that ended World War One, and put Germany on track to do the things that they did in World War Two. So that's terrible. But the thing that I wanted to actually, um, the NFL was born this week in history, and
Oh, really? I didn't
the
know that.
young
Huh.
the youngest person to ever hit a home run in a major league game was this week. A 17-year-old dude. So fun stuff. So, but the thing that I was gonna mention or focus on was the 1619 introduction to slaves in the U.S. Well, it wasn't
Hmm.
the U.S. at the time, but the British colonies. So there were 20 slaves that were, or they weren't technically slaves. They were technically indentured servants, but they were kidnapped from the African interior by the Portuguese and transported to the U.S. on a couple of ships. One was called the White Lion. The White Lion was the one that docked in the United States and was officially the first slave ship. So they only 20 of them were released, but they shipped something like 300, 350, and of that, 150 of them died on the way over. So it was a pretty terrible thing that they had to go through. Have you guys ever seen Amistad, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yes.
the okay, so you've seen how they were treated, basically chained one by one in the interior of the ship and not ever allowed to come up to do anything. So they went to the bathroom all over themselves. I mean, it was terrible, really horrific stuff that they don't even do to animals. So just really terrible stuff. Anyway, so they were brought here, and two of them produced the first child ever born into slavery, but
Mm.
the laws at the time actually the I think his name was William. They were not um, pronounced slaves if they were born into a union of slaves. They were actually free people. So it wasn't until the later 1600s that a court case deemed the children of slavery as property of the owners. So there's a lot of interesting things
Hmm.
that lead up to the official enactment of slavery in the U.S., but it started out as officially indentured servitude. But I think everyone can agree that if you're kidnapped from your home, forced to endure a transatlantic trip, and then forced into where you're sold off, that's legally they can call it indentured servitude, but it's got all the earmarks of slavery. So it's only because of
Well,
legality uh, and stuff that you can call it indentured servitude for them, which was uh, like more than half of the people that came here were indentured servants. A lot of Irish, a lot of whatever, but none of some of them were forced, but none of them were kidnapped and forced to come the way that the Africans did. So there are definitely some differences.
I know if you ever look back at, yeah, if you ever go back and go to those historical sites and like go on those old ships, any of the ships, I haven't seen a slave ship, so don't have other than what
Have you
looking
been to a
at pictures.
plantation?
Yeah, yes, yeah, but the conditions that the people, I mean, was a lot worse for slaves, obviously, but I mean, for anyone back at that time, I would have hated living back in the 16th and 17th century. That's just brutal.
So there's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand that there was actually a high death rate for everybody that was coming over transatlantically. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember the percentage, but there were a lot of people that died, even people that had freedom to move around. So there was a lot of death in in that kind of transportation. So um, interesting. It's a sad,
A lot of
really
that was typhoid, wasn't it?
really sad part of our unfortunate part of our history. Honestly, it's really terrible, but there's a lot of interesting things that go along with it. Um, but yeah, terrible part of our history. But that this week is the basically the start of the unfortunate slave trade in the United States, or what would become the United States, what was Virginia at the time. So I found it. It wasn't until 1640 that a court ruled that slaves or people that were born in the union of slavery were the property of the owners of the slaves. So for that about a 20-year period, anybody that was born in that time was actually a free person. And so interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So that was
Wow.
so I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys know this, but so the Portuguese were the drivers with the African slave trade. They were the main culprits, if you want to say that. The British never ever went into the interior of Africa to kidnap people. Most of that was done by um, more dominant African tribes to other African tribes. But the Portuguese were were the only Europeans that actually went into the interior. Otherwise, the British and anyone else that participated in that, they basically were located on the coast only. So, and the reason for that is because if
Let me ask a question on that.
the reason for that is because of malaria. They avoided going into the interior because of malaria. So,
Well,
So
the
do you
sad thing is that slavery hasn't disappeared completely; that it still
no,
continues to
it's
this
actually
day.
there's a lot of slavery in Africa still and within the Arabic countries in the Middle East. So, really sad and unfortunate. But did you know that before the problem of African slavery, the biggest slave traders in the world were uh, I can't remember the right word. The pirates, basically from the Somali area. I can't remember the name, but yeah, they actually enslaved Europeans at a higher rate than Africans before the 1600s. Barbary, there we go. Sorry, the Barbary
do you
pirates.
think do you think that one of the reasons why Britain or England was not involved in slavery is because in the 1600s, um, England colonized probably over a quarter of the world. Quarter
Right.
of the world was an English settlement
or
or a British
conquered.
territory during that time. And so, did they look at it as their people inside those countries that they govern? Why would they push them out into slavery? And so, they govern those people. Does that make sense?
It makes
And I
Well,
wonder if
I
that's
but
understand the
maybe one
question,
other
but it's
reason why
actually
they stayed away
backwards.
from that.
It's the other way around, Brent. The reason that slavery,
So they went in to create slaves?
yeah, yeah. So like the Romans, even the yeah, and the British, they would when they conquered an area, a percentage of the people that they conquered became slaves. So that's where the slaves of those previous centuries came from, were from the peoples that were conquered. So that included all of the European countries. It included um, areas uh, of like India and China, and I mean slavery was came from all over the world. And then it really focused on Africa after that. So
Hmm.
it's really a sad thing, but it's really kind of, if you learn a little bit about the history, it's actually kind of interesting, even though it's really sad because of the changes that the actual institution of slavery went through, and it didn't ever become a thing of a person's color of skin until the 1600s. Previous to that, it affected basically just any conquered person, and the Irish were were big time targets of slavers. So
Right, right. Well, cool.
yeah,
Well, You know, I'm going to close this off here with something just real quick. So I mentioned this to you earlier, Carl, but I drove by a car this morning with something painted on the back of its window that said, "We the people does not mean the government."
Nice.
That's
And I
true.
like that.
I like you too. I like you too. Well, a couple things too for our audience. We're making some changes with some technical programs that we're using for the podcast itself, and so we're going to be possibly experimenting with a live show. So be aware of that. And it's now, school's in session again, and so we're looking to also bring some exciting guests on as well with us over the next few weeks. And so we really look forward to hearing your feedback. So I, there is a spot if you listen on Spotify where you can give us some direct feedback on the Spotify feed, or if you're on our Facebook group page, please leave a message. Let us know how we're doing, what we could do better, anything that makes this a better show, because we kind of look like it's a community effort in a sense, especially from the old neighborhood. So we look forward to your input. Right, Brent?
See, that's yes for my Spanish listeners out there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, it was fun. Look forward to doing this again next week.
See you later.
Great job, guys. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Three Dad Bods, and make sure to catch their past episodes on Spotify, Apple, and Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure and leave a comment to help stroke their fragile egos.